Get closer and closer to a government shutdown. President Trump is resolute. Today, he announced that border security is a principle worth fighting for. Take a look.
Our nation has spent trillions of dollars and sacrificed thousands of brave young lives defending the borders of foreign nations. I am asking Congress to defend the border of our nation for a tiny fraction of the cost. In life, there are certain principles worth fighting for, principles that are more important than politics, party, or personal convenience. The safety and security and sovereignty of the United States is the most important principle of all. If we don't stand strong for our national borders, then we cease to be a nation, and we betray our commitment to the loyal citizens of our great country.
Now, with President Trump determined to fund the border wall, what will happen next in Congress? Joining us from Capitol Hill are two lawmakers who want wall funding. House Freedom Caucus members Georgia Congressman, Jody Hice, and from Virginia's 5th District, Tom Garrett. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. I'll go to Congressman Hice first. Congressman, I know the House Freedom Caucus has been doing an excellent job fighting for principles up there, and I admire your resolute stance on liberty, freedom, and immigration control and border wall funding. But what's going on with the establishment Republicans? Why are they fighting this? We've had the majority for a long time. From your perspective, what took so long to get this done?
Yeah, Dan, really, I don't have any idea as to why. Many of us have been calling for months and months and months. Let's deal with this issue. We have the majority. The American people sent us here for this. The president is behind it. Let's go for it. And for whatever reason, it's been stall after stall after stall, one CR after another. And at this point, there was just a line drawn in the sand, and it was like, we've had enough. We're no longer taking this. You know, it reminds me, Dan, down in the Alamo, there's a monument there, but the monument is not there because they won the fight. It's there because they fought. And that really, it was the line that was drawn in the sand with us over the last 24 hours. And it's turned out to just be an absolutely spectacular 24 hours, both for the Freedom Caucus, for our conference as a whole, for the president, and for our country.
You know, Congressman Garrett, the Republicans out there, the activists, the people knocking on the doors, donating the money, doing the actual work, that are sweating out there in the summer trying to get people in Congress on the Republican side elected, they've been disappointed before, repeatedly. Now, to the credit, the tax cut bill was excellent, but the Obamacare failure and other things, I see this as a political red line and one of those moments where we absolutely have to stand up for something. Do you feel the same way? Are you getting the same thing from your constituents?
You know, look, one of the reasons that you're lucky you didn't win when you ran for Congress is it's disgusting to be in a town where a bunch of people make promises that they don't intend to keep. And some of us, Congressman Hice and myself, haven't equivocated. Let me be real clear. The cost in human lives, straight line cost of not protecting our border, would equal the casualties in the Korean War over a decade. Over 10% of drunk drivers here illegally. That's thousands of deaths a year, 4,000 murders a year. If you then figure in illicit drugs that come into this country and kill our brothers and sisters and sons and daughters, and so this is truly about protecting America. I am for a robust and healthy immigration plan, but it is ridiculous and it flies in the face of a sovereign nation not to do this. It's tragic that it had to be done this way.
Yeah, I agree. Congressman Hice, I'll just exit question with you here. You know, the GOP loses, Republicans lose when we don't advance our principles. I said this last night. Ironically, the Democrats lose when they advance theirs, right? Barack Obama did everything to decimate the Democrat Party and help Barack Obama. What do you think is going to happen on the Senate side? I understand we probably don't have the votes to overcome a filibuster, but are there enough moderate Democrats on the Senate side to get this pushed through? It's a reasonable bill.
Well, yeah, it is a reasonable bill, and it's a great question. And the truth of the matter, look, we've already seen the Schumer shutdown a few weeks ago. We are about to see the Schumer Senate shut down again because we're sending them a reasonable bill that defends our borders, protects American citizens. I mean, who would not be in favor of that? And $5 billion, when you compare that to $1.3 trillion that we have in our annual budget, I mean, we're talking like a day and a half of our budget to build this wall for security. And the truth of the matter is the Senate did not vote on this bill that they sent us. They passed it by voice vote. So we don't know where the Senate is going to be on this. But the reality is now that they're either going to fund this or they're going to shut down the government. And I just don't that's a tough choice for them to be in right now.
This $5.7 billion, Dan, is actually less than one day. It's about a half a day.
Right.
And I'm tired of fixing the blame. Let's start fixing the problem. We in the House should do our jobs, and if the clowns on the other side of the building want to fail, let them. But when we say, well, it won't get through the Senate, so we're going to abdicate our responsibility, I just won't accept that.
Yeah, Congressman Garrett, I like your style. I like you too, Congressman Heiss. You're a good man. Hey, thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks for fighting
Thanks
a good
for
fight,
having us.
guys.